Now let's talk about Methodist Le Bonheur Healthcare and some great ideas for those New Year's resolutions. Those New Year's resolutions we hear about all the time. And we're joined now by Laura Schultz with Methodist Le Bonheur Healthcare. And Laura, we hear about money and finances and health and diet and weight loss. When it comes to thinking about New Year's resolutions, what's the best frame of mind we should approach a New Year's resolution to make it more successful?
Absolutely. Good morning. Thanks for having me. I think New Year's resolutions are a great opportunity to look at where we are in our life and maybe where we want to go in the next year. Really, a resolution is just a goal, something that we want to set for ourselves. And that is fun. It keeps us moving in a positive direction versus staying stuck, gives us something to look forward to and work towards, and keeps life interesting. But I think one of the things that we need to do before we set that goal or that resolution for ourselves is figure out the why behind the goal. So often we hear people say, I want to lose weight or I want to stop smoking. And I really encourage folks to pause before they set that goal and ask themselves, what is it that you are hoping your life will look like if you are able to do those things? So close your eyes for a minute, picture yourself 10 pounds lighter or smoke free, and see what it is you'll be able to do that maybe you can't do now. So, for example, maybe you want to lose a little bit of weight so you can get more active into that hobby that you used to really enjoy that's just become harder as you've been more sedentary. Or maybe you want to stop smoking so you can keep up with the grandkids a little bit more. Those relationships and that connection to that hobby, that's the why. And identifying that before you actually set the goal, I think can really help us if we have the meaning whenever things start to get kind of hard at keeping up with it. So I think figuring out your why behind your resolution or your goal is key before you get started.
I like that. I like that a lot. And the cynics around there say, well, I don't do New Year's resolutions because by the end of January, I've already, failed and it's not going to work for me and I can't do this. And so figuring out the why perhaps helps them set themselves up for success. What about when it comes to working towards a long term goal and maybe checking in with themselves from time to time? Because there will be setbacks on any kind of challenging goal. There's going to be some obstacles, of course, that's life. What's the best way to go about maybe that long term goal that you have for maybe this year and beyond?
I think a lot of times we get stuck because the goals that we set for ourselves are just too vague. And you've probably heard that saying, if you don't know what you're aiming for, you absolutely won't hit it. It's true when we start thinking about our goals. So, number one, before you even get to the long term part, I think we've got to think about setting what we call SMART goals. These goals are specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're relevant, and they're time bound. So instead of saying, I want to be healthier, or I want to make healthier choices, or I want to get skinny, those things are so vague. Think about something really specific that can move you step by step in that direction. So, for example, we might say, I want to eat 2 servings of vegetables a day for the next month because I want to work on my nutrition. With that really specific goal, we can measure it. We can look back and say we did it or we didn't. We can look at what got in our way. It's attainable. It's something that's not too overwhelming. It's very relevant to our overall goal of adequate nutrition and health, and it's time bound. So it really only lasts a month. I think that's another place where people get hung up. They say, well, in 2024, I'm going to do all these things, but 2024 is a long time, and things come up in our life as we're working towards our goals. There's deaths or there's stressors or things like that that can really throw us off. But if you're able to set more attainable time bound goals, step by step, those are going to add up and get you to where you want to go. So that's one thing that I think is setting a SMART goal to start and really be helpful at moving you towards those long-term goals.
I like that. Start small and then gradually build from there. Anything else you want to mention when it comes to New Year's resolutions that would be beneficial to our viewers? We have thousands of people watching, as you know, on the digital desk.
I think the thing to keep in mind is staying the same is easy, but change is hard. So be patient with yourself. If you get stuck, go back and look at your goal with a fresh perspective. Make sure the why is still really relevant to you. Maybe things have changed in your life, and that thing that was initially important maybe isn't as important to you anymore, and you need to set a different goal. Or maybe the goal that you initially set for yourself wasn't attainable. If so, set a smaller goal. Maybe try just eating one serving of vegetables a day, and then gain some momentum and keep going. You can also ask a friend to cheer you on. That can be really helpful when we have those good, supportive people in our life to say the goal out loud, write it down, communicate, and get that support. And then I think another thing is really we need to stop striving for perfection. If you don't hit it today, it's okay. You can try again tomorrow. And even if you get to your goal a little bit slower or take a detour, those small steps add up. Lastly, I would say don't compare yourself to anybody else. This is your race, your journey, and one of the quickest ways to get thrown off kilter is to stop and look behind or around you at what other people are doing. Just keep going one step at a time and take those little steps, and it will get to where you want to go. And if you get hung up and you need extra support, especially if you're trying to make some goals in your health this year, Healthier 901 is an initiative that Methodist Le Bonheur is operating and spearheading, and it's not just about losing weight, it's about living healthier. And you can join for free that movement. You can create an account at healthier901.com and get all kinds of resources that can help you along that journey towards health. So you're not alone.
Health. I love it. I love it, Laura. Healthier901.com. Yes, absolutely. Dr. Laura Schultz, thanks so much for joining us on the Digital Desk. Happy New Year to you. We really appreciate the advice. Have a great weekend.
Happy New Year.